switch and be like, everything's better now. Great.
First of all, I thought it was very enjoyable.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. It was very well written. One thing that stood out in my mind, because not that I had a whole bunch of friends like that, but the bar scene was very important in the early 20s. And also the used record store scene was very important in my early 20s as a 40-something now. You know, loving albums, vinyl. And I was wondering, does that place still exist?
You know, ironically and depressingly, it does not. Well, it exists, but at a different location. I mean, I worked in that store, and it was like the craziest, funnest shit. Like, if I could do that and support my, wife and kid, and I would still be there. Working in a record store is like silly fun, especially if you like music. But no, they shut down that location a few months after we finished filming, so I'm happy to be able to sort of have it on film and keep the memory of it, but they're a few blocks away in a smaller location. But yeah, I mean, that was ideally, at that point in my life, like, music was like the number one. I played in bands. We'd drive to San Francisco like at least once a month to see bands play, and that was like one of the most like important things in my life. And so I really wanted to capture a little bit of that. And that was like a bond between my friends. Besides drinking, it was like we could talk about. It was always about music and like, what are you listening to? So I wanted to definitely capture that. So.
Quick question.
Yeah?
How long did the process take you from the time, let's say you finished writing it, until you finished filming it?
It was a long process. I mean, I finished writing this around 95, 96. And I polished and polished, moved to LA, and had some people interested in making it. Never happened, and I just never gave up on it. It was just a movie I wanted to make. It's like I had to, even if it was terrible, I had to see it get done. So, I did it, and that's my advice to, if anyone asks me any advice, just never give up. You gotta struggle through it,
Two questions with short answers.
Okay.
What did you do prior to your friend calling you up and saying, hey, let's go make a movie?
The first job I got, the second time I moved to LA, so I bounced around a little bit, but I worked at the Motion Picture Association of America, which was good because it kind of put me in proximity. I mean, I got to go to the studios and walk around and meet people, but it was bad because you really get to see like what a mechanism, mechanism the movie industry is. I mean, it's not like a bunch of artists, talking about what movie they're going to make. And I mean, it's like a big multi-billion-dollar industry and all the issues they face. And but I learned a lot. But it was very much a day job.
And the second question is, did you ever find out the name of the one-night stand?
I'll just tell you guys, it's probably what the one night stand or
yeah.
Oh yeah. I was putting that someplace else, and then I had to face the facts. Yeah, no. I mean, a lot of that stuff. I mean, there's a lot of very overly dramatized moments in the movie. I mean, I obviously didn't break up with my girlfriend by pretending to propose to her. I mean,
don't ruin it.
I mean,
right now there's certain moments in that movie that make you a god.
They do. No. I mean, you kind of write out the things that you want to get out onto in terms of telling the story that you feel is like you want to tell, and then you're like, well, how do I keep people interested in this? Because otherwise, it'd be just being like, God damn it, somebody broke my heart. So, you come up with elements that are going to move things along. And you try and make them seamless so that they feel like it's organic to what the characters would be doing or thinking. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Can you tell me about the editing process? Did it impact your storytelling, and if so, how much?
Good question. Yes, a lot. No, I mean, we were lucky. We got a really great editor who was very economical. He was like cut, you know. And he cut like there's a lot of great one-liners that I wrote that I loved, and you're not going to see them. But there definitely if you watch the movie as the way it was shot, there's definitely times in the movie that it drags, and you're like, we got to move this along. And he was very adamant about, no, let's cut the scene down, let's go. And you know, you do leave a lot of things that you really cherished on the cutting room floor, unfortunately. But now when I watch it, I'm like, God, can we make it 10 minutes shorter? So you pick your poison. But you know, it's good to have that voice in the editing room to be, you know, because otherwise you don't have any restraint.
Good director.
Yes.
I might have missed it. Was he part of your original team, or did you have? How did you get this? I think he did a wonderful job.
Now
And I would think that could really make or break. So how did you get your director?
Dinner party. Yeah, no, he was. I mean, literally, I was at a birthday party at some restaurant in LA, and saying that we were looking for a director, and his fiance, whose girlfriend this time, said, "He's a director," and because he never speaks up for himself, it just makes me crazy. But so I said, "Well, good. Just send me your movie," and he sent me his first movie, which was about you know, this is a relationship between two people, and the girl has cystic fibrosis, and he handled it in such a really wonderful way, and it really felt naturalistic, and you know, it was a medical drama about somebody with a really horrible disease, and the way he portrayed it, I loved it right away, and I said, if you want it, you can do this. So, but yeah, he's super talented, and knows so much about what he's doing and intellectualizes it so well. I just wish he'd go out there and get himself more jobs, because I think he could do really well.
Is he more aggressive on the set?
Yes. Yes. Like, you meet him in real life, you're like, do you want to talk at all? And then you get him on set, and him and I were like butting foreheads the whole time. In a good way. In a good way. I mean, he had a lot of good thoughts.
Okay, we have time for one more question, and I think you had your hand up.
Me?
Yeah.
You know, I was just wondering, after 14 years and this being the first experience, having you watch us watch it, what are your, feedback from us being consumers? Like, do we hit the right points? And what was your impression of us seeing it?
You guys are the best ever. That's all. Yeah, I really, I don't, maybe it's just because I haven't slept in 2 days, or I can't articulate necessarily why I felt compelled to stay and watch it with you guys, but...
because we are the best.
Well, I kept on looking back to see if you were still there, and I was surprised.
And I expected,
you know?
I usually will leave like in the first 5 minutes, gone. I don't know, but you know, you definitely, I felt like I was with an audience that was definitely engaged, and you know, I really, it's so hard. It really is so hard to get people to come out and see a movie, and you know, especially in LA, because you're spoiled for choice. You can see any movie you want there. You know, if you read about a movie in the paper, you don't have to go, when's it coming to my town? You go see it. So to be able to like come here where people are like come out to see a movie, they don't know very little bit, they haven't seen like millions of commercials on TV or reviewers. I mean, I can't tell you how much I appreciate that, and I'm not being insincere. And if I was, I would blush more.